What's up everybody, once again my name is Matt and welcome back to Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles X. In the last episode, we helped out the Mana with their advertising campaign so they could launch a successful business here in New LA. And in this episode, well, we're going to mainly focus on completing the tasks required to start the next story chapter. Now, if you remember correctly, the two tasks we had to complete were getting over a 20% survey rate in Noctilum, which I actually did in between videos since that was basically me just running around for like a little over an hour, not too exciting. And the second thing was to complete the A Friend in Need affinity mission, which we're going to tackle right now. Thankfully, this mission isn't too hard to find as it's literally right behind us, so, since I really have no changes to make to our party, what do you say we get this thing going?
We have visitor!
So, that's the story. I know it'll take you through some dangerous territory, but they're almost out of supplies.
I'm a bit surprised. Pathfinders should know better than to get stranded out there. Whose team is it?
Believe it or not, it's Lau's.
Really? Lau? I thought he was pretty on the ball.
If only everyone organized and together like Tatsu.
Lau's plenty capable, when he actually gives a damn.
How do you mean?
Lately, the slacker's been wandering off mid-mission, leaving his men to do the heavy lifting. Who knows what the hell that boy's thinking?
Okay, so we can worry about Lau and, ask if he's in trouble, or we can dismiss it and say it's disappointing at best. Let's be nice and worry about him.
If he is, he ain't said a peep about it to me.
Maybe muscles and mustache scare Lau away?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah. Wait, what'd you just say?
Well, whatever's up with Lau, his team still needs our help.
Right. No time to waste. And thanks.
Alright, so we have our next mission. Now we gotta go and spend some time in Oblivia. Should be a lot of fun, actually. I guess we can just, right away quick travel to the closest point where we can get to, because no matter what, we're going to be doing a lot of traveling in this video. Sadly, our closest fast travel location is still kind of far away, mainly because we have to travel all the way around this huge mountain. It's pretty close if you were to go around the right side, but I'm pretty sure on the right side there's just an empty canyon that you can't really cross. So yeah, kinda stinks. We gotta go the long way around. But I guess along the way, not really that big of a deal because we can do some sort of field action-y type stuff. So let's see if we get anything good. Alright, some credits and hey, a mining probe. Mining probes are actually so useful to get right now, which is another reason why you kinda wanna level up mechanical. That way you can sort of complete all the field actions as well as plant the frontier nav probe sites, because we're going to be using our probes a lot very, very shortly. After chapter 6 is when we gain the ability to sort of start, I guess, our quest towards getting a Skell. And getting certain materials and revenue from your probes is going to be a big portion of getting everything we need in order to equip and purchase a Skell. So yeah, keep that in mind. That's sort of why, I've been stockpiling probes. And, when I was exploring Noctilum, on my own time, I made sure to go to, every single Frontier Nav probe site that I could. That way I can at least have the basis of a network there. So later on, when I do need to, go and refine, the usage of my probes, I can sort of, have everything laid out and better optimize my probes. That way I can get different bonuses and benefits, and hopefully reach all the goals that I need to in order to get my Skell license, get my Skell, and, be on my way. So, yeah, we do have to wait until the end of the next story chapter to do that, but we're very, very close, guys, and I couldn't be more excited. Anyways, though, looks like we got ourselves another field action. This thing looks like giant purple poo. Not gonna lie, but there we go. I guess we got some experience and some battle points from it, so not bad. Getting battle points from anything is always a good thing because that's pretty much what you use to level up your arts, your skills, and so on and so forth. I actually haven't done that in a pretty long time, so I should probably do that before, like, the boss of this particular mission. So if I remember to, I will definitely go and do that. We are getting close to our first stop here on this mission. It should start popping up very soon, although I will admit the draw distance in this game is probably one of its biggest downfalls. It does take a while for, like, important things to show up, but there we go. Finally, we need to talk to Mr. Satan. So what's going on, my man?
Man, you guys really saved our bacon. Now we can finally get back to work.
You have our thanks, and I'm sure Lao's as well.
Don't mention it. We're just doing our job, same as you.
Do you guys have any idea where Lao is? Or why he just up and left like that?
No idea. And even less of an idea when he'll return.
I'm sure he's just giving us a chance to grow.
Sure he is. What? Don't give me that look. I still trust him. Mostly.
Hey, I'd be pretty upset if someone forgot to restock and then left me stranded.
Actually, that was our mistake, not his. He just left us dead weights behind while he finished the job. He's always been like that, actually.
Always? Wait, you must be...
Sidon, ma'am. I've been working with Lao since we were back on Earth. Truth be told, he's the only reason I ever made it into Project Exodus. Without his recommendation, I'd be long dead.
Me and Mondo worked on the Frontier Nav development team. Needless to say, we've been big fans of Lao's ever since. Oh, I'm Shingo, by the way, and that there is Mondo.
I had no idea you guys had such respect for Lao. I'm sorry if it sounded like I was bad-mouthing him.
Anyway, are you all set here now?
Oh, we should be fine. Except...
Except what?
Well, we still have a probe to place, but the location is swarming with indigents. We usually let Lao do most of the fighting, and by most, I mean all.
If that's the case, we'd be happy to escort you.
Really? Wow! It'd be an honor to work with your team, ma'am. We'll move as fast as we can.
Tatsu getting oddly similar vibe from these two.
You know, I'm not really sure who Tatsu's referring to. Like, maybe he's referring to Irina and Gwen. That's really all I can think of, unless, like, he's talking about our team, but I really don't think that's the case. Although it's Tatsu, so does anyone really care what he's thinking? I mean, as much as you love Tatsu, you kind of, like, equally hate Tatsu, right? Like, you can't fully love or hate his character. Anyways, though, yeah, this entire affinity mission is more or less just, like, learning more about Lao through the people that he knows and works with, which is pretty cool, honestly. It gives Lao, like, a pretty interesting backstory, and, I will admit, it is kind of sad towards the end, so, you know, if you want to prepare yourself for that, maybe go get some chopped onions, just, like, place them somewhere nearby. That way, if you do start crying, you can just, like, you know, blame it on the onions, because it is quite sad. Anyways, though, like, our next major goal is basically just to walk into the giant yellow circle and trigger the next cutscene. Yeah, that's pretty much all we had to do was walk.
We'd like to place that probe just beyond here.
Understood. We'll handle the fighting. I'll call you once the area's secure.
Man, Elma's amazing. She's so strong and professional and beautiful.
Tatsu know how friend feel. No need for shame about being ineffective and useless lump.
Thanks. Wait, who are you calling a useless lump?
You see, that's exactly what I mean. You hate Tatsu, but you love him. Oh man, he's gonna get himself beat up one day though, I know that for sure. Alright, so here's all the enemies that we need to take out. There are 6 of them, not really that big of a deal. We are getting kinda lucky because, you may have noticed that certain indigents will have like a weird S mark above them. That S mark is sort of representative of our squad task. So as you can see, in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it's like S number 8, and then it has squad missions, squad tasks, and like those random pictures. So basically, when you join a squad at the beginning of the game, like when you first boot it up, when you connect to the online servers, you're given like random monsters to hunt out in the field. So we got kind of lucky in that these required monsters are actually part of the squad missions. So when we defeat them, we'll actually get a reward ticket on top of like whatever else we get from defeating the monster. And as I said before, reward tickets are pretty cool because you can use them back in the Blade barracks. Like there's a Blade terminal with all the rest of the online stuff where you can sort of like trade your reward tickets for different materials that are pretty hard to get. And that whole like reward ticket system is kind of broken because there's a way that you can sort of like farm reward tickets pretty easily in the game and then just like get a bunch of them to get some really rare materials. That way you can get like the most overpowered gear in just a couple of hours rather than like trying to, you know, grind it manually. So it's kind of like a broken system right now, but I do kind of plan to take advantage of that later on in the game since it's something that you can take advantage of. And although it is a little bit cheaper, it beats like grinding out those materials in the same way for like 12 hours at a time when you can get them in like, you know, 1 or 2 hours. So keep that in mind if you are playing this game. If you're not using the online mode, I don't believe there's any way that you can get reward tickets or use that sort of system. So yeah, you might be kind of out of luck there and might have to like just manually go and grind and spend the extra hours getting those rare materials. But I mean, you do what you gotta do, I guess, and if you can abuse it, I would recommend doing it just because it will save you a ton of time. In fact, this whole game becomes like a lot easier once you get a Skell, because like Skells can become very, very overpowered, and on top of that, like there's known areas where you can just like go to, sit with the Skell, and farm off of enemies to get upwards of like level 55 or level up the various different classes in the game, because that is the thing. Like I want to show off other classes if I can, but they take so long to level up, and when you change classes you have access to like maybe 1 or 2 of those classes arts, and they're usually pretty weak, not very good, so you're like not nearly as powerful as you are normally if you just like stick to one class, which is sort of why I'm like using this class mostly in my videos, although off screen I usually do try to like switch to another class and try and level that up, but hasn't been going all that well. Also, you know what I just realized? We are in the middle of a lightning storm, and that is literally one of the worst weather conditions that we could get right now. I really hope that goes away before we fight the boss, because if it doesn't, I might actually go and find like a time manipulation hut and try and make it so it goes away, because I mean, you'll notice we're losing like 50 to 45 health every couple of seconds just from lightning, and that's pretty awful. Like that adds up over time. Thankfully we are fighting, so we can restore some of that HP over time using like soul voices and stuff like that. But yeah, it's still one of the worst weather conditions, although I think it might have actually gone away, which is pretty interesting because normally they last for a couple of minutes, so unless I just like didn't notice it, that was like one of the shortest lightning storms I've ever experienced in this game thus far. Alright, so now that that is done, and it does look like the storm is gone completely, we're good to go. And that is the wrong way, Matt. Come on, learn how to read a map, man. Real talk though, like I do know how to read maps pretty well, and I attribute that to the fact that I played Metroid Prime a ton as a kid, because if you don't know how to read a map and you play that game, it's like basically impossible to get anything done. So I had to learn how to read maps by playing Metroid.
Wow, you carved through those guys like butter. That's amazing.
We'll get right on installing the data probe, ma'am.
And we'll keep an eye on the area so you can focus on your work. Things seem to be going well.
Thanks to you. We should have this baby ready to rock in just a few minutes.
if you want. I'm not moving until this thing is finished.
Huh? You got a death wish or what?
Hell, I'm just a mimeosome, right? Why not die for blame? What do you do?
3 sets of hands will get this done quicker than 1, right?
Thanks, guys.
Elma!
Come on, let's keep that thing away from them.
Alright, so we can affirm and be confident, say nothing's getting past us, or we can boast and be cocky about it. Let's be confident.
What confidence?
Let's put it to work.
Alright, so here we go. Yeah, we gotta fight this huge thing. I think this is like the biggest monster that we've faced thus far in this game. Now, real quick, here's one problem I have with this battle. You know how we were just with those guys who had a Skell? And yeah, sure, they were planting a probe. But are you trying to tell me they couldn't just like set the probe down, put that to the side for like a second or two, and you know, use the giant Skell specifically designed to fight giant monsters to take this guy out, and then go back to like planting the probe? Like, how does that make any sense? Like, in what world does sending 4 foot soldiers to fight a giant monster make more sense than like using the giant robot designed to fight the giant monsters? Like, what? So that's one problem I have with this fight. The next problem is that this guy has a ton of HP. Like, we used overdrive, we used like all of our arts, and really he's still kind of at like, I don't know, 92, 93% of his HP. That's a lot. So this guy does have a ton of HP, but his attacks are kind of weak. That's not to say he doesn't have very strong attacks, because he does. There's like 1 or 2 attacks that he can do that can one-shot you, or at least bring you very, very close to death. So you're going to want to watch out for those. And like the telltale sign that he's doing one of those attacks is usually he'll like jump up in the air. So for a majority of this fight, what I would recommend doing is staying far away and sort of like using ranged attacks. Now that's not to say you can't go in occasionally and use your melee attacks, because I mean, for my character specifically, I do way more damage with a sword than I do with a gun, so being constrained to only ranged attacks means that I'm not putting out nearly as much damage as I could, which kinda stinks and make this fight drag on a little bit longer than maybe it should. But if this guy does pull aggro onto you, he can kill you very, very quickly, as I said, if he chooses to use some of his larger attacks. So, honestly, it's a combination of, like, getting lucky and knowing the proper way to fight this guy. At least we are getting pretty close to, like, half HP. Maybe we're at, like, 55, 60% right now, so it's taking a lot longer, but we're doing good. No one's died yet. Lynn is the only one who is, like, low on HP, so as long as we can keep everyone around this HP range, we should be fine for the most part. I just really don't want to do anything too stupid and get like hurt too much here, so I'm really only going to go in for some melee attacks when I know I should be safe. Also, you know what I just realized? We totally forgot to like level up our arts and skills prior to this fight. Oh, that was the big one. Yeah, that's the attack that I was worried about. So thankfully I did not die, but I'm going to have everyone like keep their tension points up, because now I'm very, very close to death, and I kind of want to make sure that if I do go down, my party members can revive me. That and Lynn went down, so I definitely want to revive her soon. Like, I'm close to having full TP, so if I just keep like nailing soul voices and stuff like that, hopefully we'll get enough TP to revive Lynn, because having her gone is kind of an issue. I'm almost there though. Alright, 50 more TP, like 1 attack and we should be good. Alright, there we go. Come on, Lynn, I need you. Get up. The battle's not over yet, girl. Alright, that's good. I really should like leveled up my abilities though, because I know I can still beat this guy without those like extra levels, but it definitely would have been helpful. Plus, it's been a really long time since I've like done anything in that regard to my character, so I guarantee you I have like a pretty large pile of like battle points that I can just spend. So I'll probably do that in like the next episode or two. I should probably also go and like visit Armory Alley as well, because it's also been a couple of episodes since I've done that and seen if there was like anything better that I can get for my characters, especially since we got that new AM Candid Incredible, so they've probably got some like equipment and armor that is better than what we currently have, so I should probably check that out as well. But anyways, we did lose Elma and Elle, which is not really that good. Like, this guy still has, I don't know, 25, 30% HP, so it's going down. But we also lost 2 of our party members, and I'm kind of far away from getting enough TP to revive them. I mean, hopefully I can, because having only me and Lynn, I do not feel safe. Like, I know Lynn can tank a ton of damage, but we're also not putting out nearly as much damage as we were before. And this guy already takes long enough to take out as it is. So hopefully, oh geez, that hurt. Hopefully I can just get the remaining like 2,000, well now 900 TP that I need in order to revive these teammates. Oh, come on, we're getting there. I'm using my sword too because I know that like I get way more TP back when I attack with my sword than I do with my gun. So there we go. Alright, 3,000. Let's just revive you. Alright, that was Elle. I probably should have revived Elma, but couldn't really tell who was who. I wasn't really paying attention. But whatever, at least we do have another teammate back, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to get like Elma back in time. And oh jeez, crap, Lynn. Come on, man. At least she did survive that. But, oh, me and Lynn are both pretty low. At least Ella's, like, almost at full HP. And I don't think I'll be able to get enough TP in order to revive Elma before we take this guy out. Like, he's only got a sliver of HP left. But that still could be a lot. That could be, like, maybe, I don't know, 3,000 HP or something like that. Probably not a whole lot, but oh my gosh, I'm actually really low HP. Oh, that soul voice came at the perfect time. He's almost gone. Like, maybe one more attack. Yes, there we go. Finally. Oh, man.
All right. Looks like the probe is up and running.
Now data from this area can be uploaded to Frontier Nav.
It wouldn't have been possible without your help.
No kidding. The rumors don't do your team justice.
Don't sell yourselves short. It was your team as much as ours that saw this mission through.
Tatsu definitely gets similar vibe from these two.
Was that all you needed then?
Yes, we're all good now. We'll finish a few calibrations and then head back.
All right, team. Move out.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh man, that fight got a little dicey towards the end, probably because I was a little too anxious to get it over and done with. I definitely could have played it a little bit better, but I'm just glad that we pulled through and actually took that thing out. So now that we're done, let's just travel back to New LA, gotta talk to somebody, and then we should be able to finish up the rest of this quest. So I think the people we need to talk to are like right over here. Sweet.
What? Lau came back after we left?
Classic timing, huh? We told him all about how you saved the day. All he said was be sure to thank him.
Then he wandered off again to who knows where.
Never a dull moment with that one.
That's how it should be. Better than the alternative, anyway.
I hear you. I haven't forgotten how he was when we first got here.
What do you mean?
Lau's skills as a Pathfinder are pretty special. They're going to help humanity carve out a life here on Mira. But he didn't board the White Whale because he thought he was useful.
He did it so he could get his wife and daughter on the ship. He thought his abilities would permit his family passage, but...
They didn't make it on board.
Right. The war hit right before he would have summoned them.
Oh.
Those were some dark days for him. Lau was empty. Like his soul was just gone. I don't know what he's been doing lately, but whatever it is, it gives him purpose. It's good to see him living again.
Not that it makes getting left behind any easier.
I've told you 100 times already. If you had better skills, Lau wouldn't need to worry so much.
Yeah.
You guys really do love him, don't you?
But no one loved their leader more than Team Tatsu love Elma. No one!
Man, this game got really sad all of a sudden. That's like way too real. Alright though, another affinity mission done, and we got ourselves a new art, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, now that we're done with that, we've actually met all the requirements to start the next story chapter, so I'll probably do that very, very soon. In the meantime, I think that's probably a good place to end off this video, so if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing, but once again guys, my name is Matt, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.